that there is a way out, that there is a way to do more, to get more, to obtain more. But I personally don't want to lose all that I've been able to get. So I need to make sure that I do everything to keep it. So I can't be content. So there is an understanding, but I refuse to click on the switch of,
So even if you have more money than you'll ever spend for the rest of your life, that's not what it's about.
No.
It's about the inspiring people and the influence and constantly giving back and moving forward in a positive way. And the only way you can do that is to stay active.
It's the story, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're all writing a book. What's your book look like? What does your fucking book look like? Like your life is a book. You got a bunch of chapters in your book, but when they close that book, how good was the book? How good was your book? What was the ending to your book? If the ending to my book can be so amazing because of all that was done, not the money, all that was accomplished, the first to do, the man that did this, he caused the merger between this. Because of his commitment and growth to this, the communities were then given this, made education this, changed the way the schooling was, blah, 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 gave books, gave computers, all of the things that can be associated with you and your existence become a part of the chapters in your book. So my drive is about my book. I was a New York Times #1 bestseller. People would be done. They did it. I'm writing another book.
You're writing a book right now?
Yeah. What happens if you are a 2-time New York Times #1 bestseller? If you get to 2, what happens if you get to 3? Hey, man, how do books become successful? Who publishes them? I want to start a publishing company, Heartbeat Publishing. Why not? That's the thing. All I'm doing is sparking the awareness in others to go, why not? Why can't I create? Why can't I start? Why can't I be a business? Why can't I be a CEO? Why can't I be a tech guru? Why can't I fucking create cooking products, lotions, scents? There's so much that some people just don't understand they can do. Let me be a spark to show how many different, you don't have to do just one thing. When it's all said and done, my book is going to be full of all the shit that Kevin Hart did. Because I never was content with doing just 1, 2, or 3. Why not? Kevin, why are you creating fucking health and wellness products? Why not? I'm big on health and wellness. Why can't I try to create something that I feel is fucking great and jump into a space that I'm already in? I already give 100% of me in this space. Why not? Why can't I talk about financial wealth? Why can't I go back and educate those that don't know? Why not? You don't got time. I make time.
Well, you certainly can, but it's just so unusual that someone dedicate that much energy and time to giving back and getting involved with the kind of projects that you're talking about, as well as be super ambitious with your own career.
It makes me happy.
Yeah, I could tell.
I'm genuinely happy. Discovery makes me happy. Like when you find...
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Dennis. I'm actually the host and creator of the shop. I have my co-host Tatanisha, and I have my guest host Winston. It's going to be a big night tonight, so I have a few people that are going to be speaking. But I have the creator of Retune.com. He's going to be the first person actually speaking about. He's going to be the first person actually speaking about entrepreneurship. So, Winston, you want to give them a little background about yourself?
What's up? What's up? This is exciting. This is show 6, right?
Show 7.
7. Listen, I'm excited to be back, man, and to talk about something I'm passionate about. So just a little bit about myself before we get into the topic. I'm a business owner, you know, right? And that comes with a lot of stuff, but I think the short and simple, I'm a person who owns and operates a business for a living. and just a person that's pivoting in an ever-changing business environment. And that's pretty much it. Right now, I operate a site called Retune.com. We do some work for independent artists. Just launched a service that creates streaming services for independent artists. So, I'm all the way in. So I'm excited to have the conversation. Excited to be back with my girl Ty. What up, girl? What up, Ty? What's up, Ty? So I'm excited. I'm just excited to be back with you guys and to have a conversation. Yeah.
Hey, Tatanisha, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Good. We have a couple people. I have Danielle. I have Geechee in the room. Well, I know people are filtering through now. There are a couple questions that we wanted to ask today. And especially have people chime in. This is definitely one of those shows where we want everybody to chime in and ask a lot of questions. We want everybody to leave with something at the end of the day. Winston, on my welcome. You want me to go first, Tatanisha? Can I get first question?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. What actually is an entrepreneur to you, Winston, and everybody that's in the room?
That's a great question. In my opinion, and it means a lot of things to a lot of different people, but in my opinion, an entrepreneur is someone that creates something from scratch and brings it to a marketplace and finds a position in that marketplace to live. And, like I said, that's a very broad definition, but that's what I believe an entrepreneur is, man. It's somebody saying that currently there is nothing in the space that does this, or I can do this in this space better, or I can just put my brand on a specific product or service in this space that's currently not there. Then they do it however they do it, and they try to make that thing then survive in an ever-changing economic system. So I believe that's what an entrepreneur is. That's my answer. I'm gonna end right there. That's my answer.
In your business that you have, what exactly could you explain to everybody that might not know what exactly that you do what's some of the things that you do as far as your business?
Yeah, 100%. So, so everything's done under my business right now called Retune. I'm actually going to separate it into two separate business entities because, as I explained, you'll see I actually do two separate things, right? So right now, primarily on Retune, we create streaming services for independent artists. So if an independent artist says, hey, I'm tired of sending my music and my fan base to Spotify or Apple Music and getting percentages of pennies per stream, I want to create my own platform myself. I believe I have a fan base to do so. We create streaming services from scratch with their original content. We create a membership streaming platform for that individual artist and manage it for them. So that's what Retune.com does primarily right now. I also create custom websites for small businesses. And so I'm actually going to take that concept and launch another company called mydesign.com. And that's my with two Y. So MYYdesign.com. And that's just primarily going to be for custom web designs for small businesses. I'm already currently doing that, but now I have enough of a clientele base where I definitely have to kind of separate that from the main objective of Retune and create its own entity. And I have Retune.com, which primarily focuses on servicing independent artists.
What are some of the things that you put in place to get this started? Like when you first thought that you wanted to make this into a business instead of just something to do? What are some of the things you put in place?
That's a great question. So the very first thing that made it happen was survival, right? And I think that's one thing that an entrepreneur, what I believe a good entrepreneur has, is they're not romantic with any service or industry. They're literally saying, like, how can I survive in the market while creating a brand that I'm excited to represent? And so Retune.com, I've always been an audio engineer. I went to school to be an audio engineer. And I was just in the studio working with these clients, and I was just like, we would work on these records and work on this music, and it's like nothing was happening, right? It was like, the music would sound good and everything would sound great, but like as far as like what's happening after music is done, nothing was happening. And I just, and artists were spending a lot of money in studios, and so I just kind of got tired of like getting money, right, from artists, right? I know that sounds funny, but getting money from artists, but not seeing their end result happening for them, right? And even though they may have liked my service, I was like, yo, your end result, you're in the studio because you want to get a fan base, but you're not, that there's a disconnect there. And so from there, I was like, okay, maybe I can pivot and help solve that problem. And then primarily went into creating web extensions for independent artists, which were called Connect pages. Did that all of 2018 to 2019. And then from there, it was like, all right, we're still just sending people to Spotify and Apple Music. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're really not solving the end result. And then that pivot to creating streaming services for independent artists, which is now we in the field of really kind of solving some problems. And so, I would just say surviving. I think, I think anybody who wants to be in business or entrepreneur, I do think you got to have some sort of skill set or service. And I think you jump into the market with that skill set and service. And then after you jump into the market with the skill set and service, I think it's about surviving and constantly adapting and learning new skills and services to provide to the marketplace. And I think the longer you survive and the longer you adapt, I think the more valuable you become to a market. And that's just kind of what I'm doing.
I know, being that we're going through, with the virus and just everything as a whole that we're going through. The one thing that you did say, I think that is extremely important for people that might not have it, is actually having your own website. I know me and you've had a conversation about this before, but having that website is like having a piece of real estate, your own piece of real estate, where you can drive traffic. Yeah, you could drive traffic to. You could sell. You could do any and everything. I know there are a lot of people there's some people that's in the room right now. If you all could just state exactly what it is what field that you're in. Just kind of wanted to throw some questions off on you as well. I wanted to hit a lot of different topics. Winston, for you, what is with the websites? What's the most important thing, or what's the one thing that you see now, because you are creating a lot of websites? This is actually the creator of My Cuts, the platform that I have, that I own. So what's some of the things?
Well, that's a great question. So if you want to talk about surviving and pivoting, like the websites was like never on my radar to do. I just created my own website for Retune.com because I couldn't find a web designer to do it. It took me years to be able to create a site that was up to the level that I thought was quality. And then after doing that, that's when I started getting inquiries of other people who had small businesses that wanted their own websites. And then, that made me kind of look into it more in detail. Like, it seems like a lot of people, it's 2020, like, it seems like a lot of people still need websites. And what I found was with custom websites, they're extremely expensive if you get someone to custom design them. And there's a technical disconnect between the designer and the end user, meaning that someone may technically design you the site you like, but you as a business owner now have to operate that site on a daily basis to run your business. And so I just saw there was a huge disconnect between those things. And I was like, there's a space. I feel there's a space that I can get in here and provide a service. And so with the websites I designed, there's a couple things I try to solve. One, make them affordable. And so I'm not trying to make web designs for Fortune 500 companies or people who have 50 employees. That's not my lane. I'm trying to make a website for someone like myself who was a person with an idea and needed a platform to represent that idea. Because I think that represents a majority of the marketplace. I think that represents the person that's in their house. It's like, I got to make an extra 10,000 this year. I do hair, and I need something that can represent that. Or I'm trying to make an extra little bit of change. I'm a barber. I'm trying to make a little extra bit of change, and and do whatever, right? I think that represents the majority of people who look to start business. They're either not happy with their job, they want a little bit of passive income, they have idea, but now their idea has to be represented in the form of website. So you can't just kind of go and get a Shopify template or a Wix template or whatever else you want to use. And so now you got to find someone that can design it for your quality. And if you're just coming into the space, you don't got a lot of capital to spend. So there's a huge disconnect there. And I just kind of wanted to solve that problem and create affordable custom websites for small businesses. And that's kind of, hopefully that answers.
What would a site from you, what would it run, just for the people that are actually tuned in?
Now, great question. So those prices, I'm trying to hold them. Obviously, you see with Corona happening, there's a big uptick in need. And so once again, my mission is to provide affordable websites for small business. So I'm trying to hold it. Right now, they've been going so far about $400 plus hosting, and hosting can range anywhere from $20 a month to any other additional services you may add on to it. So give you an instance. Our standard hosting is $20, but if you want to add Shopify integration, that's an extra $9 a month that you would pay to Shopify. I'm doing a radio platform for this guy who's going to start an online radio business called Megastar Radio, and he has to integrate certain things that are going to increase his monthly hosting costs or monthly cost to operate the site. But at the standard level, it's $400 for the design and $20 for the hosting. And then what I tell all my clients is, you put a $200 down, $200 deposit down. I start designing your site from start to finish. So you really only pay $200 down. I designed the thing from start to finish, and then the other $200 is paid on the back end. Once again, this video, I know you big on YouTube now, Blue. So this is my current pricing, and me and Blue have had a conversation just a couple of days ago. That pricing is getting ready to adjust, just because I gotta pivot with the energy I'm getting. But once again, my end goal is to always, at all times, provide affordable custom websites for small businesses. So it's right around that $400 range right now, and that's kind of our pricing as of right now.
Could you put your information in the chat for if anybody wanted to get in contact with you, as far as your the website or?
Yeah, I mean,
anything?
we'll chat. Blue, you know my number, right? Hold up.
If you could just add it in there. Did anybody have any questions for Winston as far as what websites, or she said, what are the prices? Do you have a website? Yes, he does. He just stated that websites run starting depending on what exactly that you need. Websites do run about 400, if I'm saying that correctly, right?
Yeah, they start. Yeah, 100%. They start at $420 a month per hosting, and once again, that price can vary based on the design you're looking for. And but the reason I created that price point is because for most businesses, right, you don't really need a website that has like 5 or 6 different pages and you're trying to take everybody everywhere, right? You just need something that can explain what you're trying to do. So a lot of the sites I try to create are very, very technically sound one-page designs. Meaning you go to the website, you scroll down, you get everything you need on that business in and out, right? And it allows that small business to get their website up and running a lot faster than maybe other custom websites will be able to get built. And it gives us the opportunity to build on the site as the client builds on their business. So that's what allows us, one, to keep it really affordable, and also to be a really quality design for small business.
What is the turnaround time for a website?
About 3 weeks, about 21 days. And once again, that's everything I give is pretty on point. But once again, so I do the custom websites, and I just rolled out these streaming services for independent artists, so I'm pretty busy. But that 21-day turnaround, I try to stick to on point. And so I'm very good at that as far as having a 3-week turnaround. Obviously, sometimes things get adjusted based on how quickly I get files from the client. if the site does need to be expedited, meaning that sometimes I may have a client that's like, hey, like I really like my site up earlier, and I have another client I can kind of push back a little farther and I can get it up quicker. But that 3 week turnaround is a pretty solid number of sticks.
Okay.
And you work together? It's just you, or you have a team?
Great question. So it is just me, but I am onboarding my first team member right now. And right now they're focused on the stuff we're doing at Retune, but they will be pivoting and kind of learning as much back end stuff as I can show them as possible. So I'm a person that believes that small businesses should try to operate as much as possible, as efficiently as possible. And so for me, I try to do as much as I can myself until it forces my hand to bring on somebody. And then that's how you know that you're not just bringing on somebody because you have too much workload, but you're bringing on somebody because you have to and they're the right person. And so I got a guy in Greensboro, North Carolina right now who I'm onboarding right now. And then I'll probably actually be needing some more people going forward as well.
Where are you actually located?
Oh, I'm located in Charlotte right now, over Concord, North Carolina. I'm getting ready to move to Florida in a few weeks. But yeah, that's where I'm located right now. Carolina, and getting ready to dip over to Florida.
What should people know about the site that sells products through the site opposed to a site that is informational?
Great question. I think, I mean, a site that is informational is great. Let me kind of change that up a little bit. I think the most important thing that every site should have is a close, right? Like what are you looking to close the consumer on? So if you're looking to close the consumer on information, your site should clearly feel that way. If you're looking to close the consumer on purchasing a product, the second I go to that site, I should be led to product. And so I think that's a very important thing that every site has to figure out. And we do that a lot of times when we first talk about the design that someone wants. Is like, what's the goal? I always like to talk about the goal. Anybody can create a good looking site or something that's fancy. I'm trying to get to the goal. Are you trying to get more view? For instance, my guy with the radio. Are you trying to get more people to listen or tune into your radio station? Cool. Some people are trying to have people purchase product. Cool. Some people are trying to have people subscribe. Cool. What is the main goal? And once I have that main goal, the concept is to build the site around to lead the end consumer to that goal. And that's how I build everything. So hopefully that answers your question. So if there is an e-commerce goal, that's the goal, to lead that consumer to the goal of purchasing. If it is a informational goal, that's the key. Let's give the consumer enough information and then close them on something. Do you want them to donate? Do you want them to sign up to something? Do you want them to tell a friend? What do you want them to do? There has to be a reason that you directed that person to your site. What do you need that person to do? And that's the main thing I try to talk to all my clients about is what is the objective of your site, and let's close the consumer on that in the build of your site.
Nice. Okay. Would you mind because there's a couple people that are on here that are in different industries. Would you all mind if we brought a couple people up that can speak?
Let's get it. Let's get it. You know me, I love to talk. Let's get it. And yeah, man, if they want to talk, let's do it.
Right. Let's see. I know that there's one person in particular that she applied for a grant, for a minority grant, and actually got the grant. And I would love if she could come up and speak about that, because that's something that we need to know about. And a lot of times with these grants, we don't know exactly how to go about to apply for them. So it's so much money that is available to us, but we don't know exactly how to go about applying. All right, she's actually coming on now. Hey, Tamika, if you could hit your microphone. You got your microphone on. There's a camera icon. Hit your microphone again. There you go. How are you? We can't hear you. Can't hear you. Hold on. Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. I can hear you now. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Tanisha and Winston, we have Tamika on the line.
What's up?
Good evening, Tamika.
Hey, good evening.
So we just wanted to find out. I know, me and you. This is actually my best friend. But could you just tell everybody about the grant situation and how that worked out for you?
Oh, well, I'm a small business. I'm an esthetician. And during COVID, obviously, most of us had to shut down. And we didn't know where we were going to get our next funds. And most of us who are in the beauty industry or work with cash or anything like that, you only have about 2 months, if that. Mm-hmm. And when they offered the PPP and the EIDL, you were automatically put into a lump in a group of saying, you apply for the PPP because that's a grant up to $10,000. So you don't have to pay it back. It'll help pay your bills. It'll help you get where you need to be in the event that we only have to do this for 30, 45 days. Mm-hmm. Then the government put a halt and said, sorry, it's up to $1,000 per person who you employ.
Okay.
It was something that none of us knew. We were totally like thrown to the left. And then the government also put a freeze. So then you had big businesses. You had like, Targets and Sony's and all of them applying for these massive grants and loans, and they got them first. And a lot of them turned them down to allow the small businesses. So there was a big meeting with Congress saying that they needed to add a new funding. And they weren't going to change the PPP, but they were going to offer the EIDL to small businesses up to $5 million. Then they shut it down and said up to $500,000. So if you apply for the PPP, you automatically were in the running to get your $1,000, as if that was going to help you. It was like a stimulus plan. Mm. So once you did that, you didn't know what the next step was, because the trillions of dollars that was offered for the small businesses, it would eventually get to those small businesses, but you don't know when it was going to happen. And a lot of us didn't know what was going on, myself included. So I told a lot of my friends, I told a lot of my family members, and I said, those who have small business, I think you should try and apply for the grant. I never even thought to apply for the loan, because if you're a small business, a small contractor, 1 or 2 sole proprietors, it's really hard to get an SBA loan. Mm-hmm. Because in the regular, pre-COVID, your credit had to be exemplary, like it had to be perfection. And it was a rigorous, getting in to get these loans, but they had lowered the standard. They had lowered their, I guess, what they considered a risk taker when they did these loans. So they said, now you can only get up to $500,000, but it was based off of your COGS. That means your calculated yearly, annual financial books for prior to COVID. You couldn't be a new business, meaning you couldn't be less than six months. And you had to be registered with your state. It couldn't be, I just have an EIN and that's it. And you need to have a bank account. You need to at least have something to show that you're a business. So it was not a process that any of us knew. So it was just, you go on, you sign a short form, you tell them how much money you made, you tell them how many employees you have, you put in your bank account, and you hit send. When I tell you it was that easy, it was legitimately that easy. Wow. They didn't ask for anything else. So when they lowered their standards for the SBA, they really said, you all qualify. So after that process, you didn't hear anything. You didn't hear about the $1,000. You didn't hear if you got 10,000. Some people were very fortunate in the beginnings. So I applied for the PPP. That's what I originally applied for. I was like, I'll get the 10,000, whatever. And I didn't hear anything. I heard nothing, zero. It was flatline. I applied March 31st. I can say May 15th, I called my family and I'm talking to my sister and brother-in-law, and I got an alert. And the alert said that someone had checked my credit. And you're not expecting anyone to check your credit because you're going for a grant.
Yeah.
I checked my credit and it said SBA. So I go, let me call the number because I don't want no inquiries on my credit.
Mm-hmm.
It was legitimate. It was from the SBA.
What does that stand for?
It's Small Business Administration. So it's the government funding for small business loans. I mean, for small businesses or just any business. Once you're in with the SBA or once you're in with the government, you now are building your own business credit. Mm-hmm. You are now establishing yourself with businesses to allow you to build your brand or build who you are, because now the government says you're okay. Mm-hmm. You've already set the standard. You already set a really nice high stage, even though they gave it to you when they were all the way down here. You now here now. Okay. So you still didn't know anything about the loan. You still didn't know if you still qualified. You didn't know anything. So apparently you could qualify if you had a 570 credit score. So all you needed was a 570 credit score, and you needed to have a legitimate business, and it had to be prior to COVID. Mm-hmm. And mind you, I told you I applied March 31st. It is now May 15th. You only got generic emails saying that we're still processing. You have no idea, because you remember that they were saying that the government has shut off the SBA loans and they were giving them only to agricultural businesses now. So if you had not applied during that small time frame that they gave small businesses, you did not qualify now, because now we're doing agricultural. That's who was suffering. The agricultural businesses were suffering. Food, everything was suffering. So fast forward to June 2nd, I get an email saying, please check your portal. You get nothing. There was nothing else. There was nothing to tell you anything. So I get an email and it says, check my portal. But I knew the portal was coming because my best friend got her portal a week before. Okay. And it told her what her loan was. But it still didn't tell you if you qualified. It still didn't tell you if you were approved. You needed to go in there and verify your information. There was about 4 or 5 questions to verify your identity. After you verified your identity, then they tell you how much your loan is. You can either take that amount or lower the amount, but you can't go no higher, because it's based off of your calculations that you gave them that your business was worth.
Do you have to pay this loan back?
So that I'm getting to, you have to pay this loan back. This portion of it is a forgiveness loan, but you really shouldn't look at it as a forgiveness, because you still have to pay it back. It's up to them to choose you to say whether or not how much will be forgiven. And at the time, you still didn't know how much this loan was for. You didn't know how many years it was for. You didn't know your APR. You didn't know anything. You didn't even know what your monthly payments were going to be. But once you hit the, I accept this amount, and here's my verification, and here's my bank information, now you know how much your loan is going to be, but you're still not approved. You get what I'm saying? So from March 31st to May 15th, they, it's a list of people who have applied. So June 2nd, I found out that I was approved for $27,000. I didn't ask for that. I was looking for $1,000. That's all I was looking for. After I found out we were only going to get 1,000 out of the 10,000. So wow. I got approved for $27,800. Okay. I said, I talked it over with my sister. I talked it over with my brother-in-law, who's a contractor, owns his own business. He said, once you're in with the SBA, once you're in with the government, you in for life. Just pay your bills, because you will build great business credit with them. So I accepted it, and it's a 30-year loan at 3.75. And it's
3.75%.
3.75%. You'll never see those numbers again. Those numbers
better than credit union.
It doesn't exist. The government was giving the loans to just everyone. I suggested to Dennis to do the same thing, but it was already, I think it got to a point where, it was too late. It had already closed. The deadline had already closed. And I accepted the loan. 3 days later, I got a call from a loan officer saying, I approve you for the $27,000 and the $1,000 grant.
That you don't have to pay back, right?
The grant you don't have to pay back. He also explained to me that a portion of my loan can be forgiven if I keep great books for the first 3 years. He didn't say how much would be forgiven, but in my head, I'm not caring whether or not it's forgiven because I have a year deferred. Okay. You don't have to start making your first payment until you sign your documents. So on I think it was June 12th, I received my $27,000.
Congratulations!
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I do have a question for you. Do you have a website?
Absolutely. Well,
I was going to say my man Winston right here.
This is my other question because we were just talking about websites, and I do have a website. It's an existing one that was just for my platform as an esthetician. People don't book through my website because I'm a contractor in another shop, and I go through her link to do my business and do my bookings. But I have been fortunate enough to have been given this money through an SBA to broaden my skincare line, which is a beautiful thing. God is an amazing person because when you have set your stage to say, I'm going to do this all by myself, I put a budget of $3,000 and said, that's my skincare budget of my own money. And Dennis knows I have been relentless with this skincare. In my mind, remember, you got March 31st to June 15th before I even knew that there was a credit inquiry. Then from May 15th to June 2nd. June 2nd is when I found out how much the loan was for, but I wasn't approved for it. I had already set the stage for myself for my skincare. I had already had that budget and already built that in. So it has put me at another level to now say, I can do exactly what I want, but now I don't have to rush it. I can take my time.
Nice.
So now I'm like, this is, you take your time. You don't have to rush to try to make the coins back from the money you spent. Now you can just set the stage where now, for me, and in my thought, set the stage as to I'm going to do it right and do it the right way. So that's why I asked about the website because I'm very technically savvy. I built the website myself. But wanting to step it up to the next notch of maybe cleaning it out, clean lining. That's why I said, and I'm a firm believer in Black business. We gotta support. We have the biggest buying power out there, and I don't think we realize it. And if we actually really sat back and watched without spending to see how much they rely on our dollar, we've got huge power. We're really not the minority. We're really the majority.
Exactly. Angela is actually going to post in the chat. She's going to post some links for some grant resources.
Right. I was going to say, I've also got great friends. Even though I received this loan, I also apply for other grants. And there are tons of grants. I don't know what states you guys are in, but New Jersey has some amazing grants for small businesses, especially women of color. NJEDA, I think I applied for their grant, which is about $5,000 right now.
If you could type it in the chat.
Yeah.
Especially for the people, so that way they could go back and look also.
They're in phase 2 right now, giving out that grant. They haven't, they're working in a process. They said if you qualify, you'll receive an email. But within that email, when you apply for the application for the New Jersey grant, they also ask you, have you received other grants?
Okay.
Or have you received, and they mentioned the disaster recovery fund from the EIDL as well. And at the time when I applied, I hadn't received it. So I legitimately spoke the truth that I applied for it, but had not received it because there was no approval yet. There was a loan amount, but not an approval.
Okay. All right.
So I can put that in for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I know Stan just joined us. Stan, do you have any questions? Or did you want to say anything?
No, I'm just.
Could you tell us about your business? Because this is about entrepreneurship, so I definitely want to highlight everyone.
Yeah. I started um I would say like a food service business, a cooking business. Maybe about I say 2 months ago. Um, Cooking was a passion for me for a long time. But I used to work in the restaurant. I went to school for it. I went to culinary arts. But it wasn't something that was that I felt like I wanted to do for long term. Um,
Mhm.
but after um Blue Nose, after having Corona, um I looked at things differently, and I just felt like I needed to target my energy to something, and that was the thing that I felt like um I can do, and I can service the people, and take my mind off of things.
Mhm.
So 'cause I felt like I was getting stressed out. I was in and out the hospital, AFib, heart rates, just a lot of.
And this was with coronavirus, right? You
So
had coronavirus.
so this is after. So this is after, like, I basically, what they'll say, beat it. After that,
Hmm.
um, I was still like back and forth in the hospital because I done seen a lot, like close people that I knew for damn near all my life. They passed away, and
My condolences.
yeah, thank you. So I just felt like I needed to target my energy to something. So what I did was I created the weekend chef. So
I
basically,
like that.
I started cooking on the weekends, and I started selling it, and business been going good. So uh, and what I did was I also was giving a platform for other people to showcase things that they have. So whether you had an edible company, whether you had a drink vending company, whether you had a dessert company, a dessert business, and what I do is I put them on my menu for no fee. Anything that I sell for them, they will get 100% of the profit. I don't want nothing from them. I don't want nothing for free. If I buy a product, I will buy a product. I will not ask for nothing for free. Um, and that was just my way of helping people out. So I made sure, like, I made sure that I tell people, like, I wanna see everybody do good. Whether you do better than me, listen, I just want to see everybody do good, especially my people. So that's why and everybody kept saying, why you not charging people? And it's just like, that's not me. I
Mhm.
I, I want to help people out. In the long run, I'll get mine some way, somehow. I'll get it. God got me, so you feel me. I just want to help people out. So that's what I did. I also, my girlfriend also has a photo booth.
Nice.
So we also have that. Um, she also is an event planner, um, and she is so much things that she can do. She's the brains of my operations. So
Okay.
so that's pretty much it.
Okay. Is there anything y'all would like to that we could y'all wanted to say that could help them as far as with business or anything that y'all think would be a good know with websites or anything? I mean, that's what we're here for. Is we're here to help each other. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
there's any
yeah.
suggestions,
Yeah, if I could jump in, man, Stan, first off, man, like, I'm excited to talk to you, man. You know what I mean? Like, just the fact of, like, your story of going with COVID and how you came out of COVID, still battling COVID, and literally created a business in spite of COVID. I think that's inspiring. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm excited to talk to you. I'm glad
Thank
that I'm
you.
able to talk to you, man. So I'm just, like I said, I just want to say that first.
Yeah.
Um, with you starting your business and kind of just getting out there creating the weekend chef, what are some of the things you're running into from popularity? I think a lot of times people talk about the issues that happen from people not wanting the product. What are maybe some of the things you're running into now that you're getting people's attention and they are actually getting, like, your service?
Well, well, Blue knows me, so Blue would know that um I won't say like I'm popular, but I am popular. So it was it wasn't hard. Um it wasn't hard for me for to get business. Um Most people, you know how most people want to see they want to see the product. They also, well, and food is concerned, they want to see, oh, if the response of people to the food. So and I knew what I can do, and a lot of people knew what I can do. So they believed in me, and they bought. Then it made other people a believer. So it wasn't hard for me to get that, as far as like things. But what it is I want to broaden my horizon, so to say. So I want to target like other places, but like I mean, I see because now that I only do it on the weekends, I see that I sell out faster every week. So every week I sell out faster, and I turn down a lot of people.
Back.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a good problem to have.
Yeah, so I turn down a lot of people because it's like it just gets to the point where it's like it's so many orders and not that much food. And I basically go through 40 pounds of chicken a weekend. I go through maybe 30 pounds of fish, maybe 30 pounds of shrimp. Uh it's just crazy. So it gets to the point where that's not my problem. I'm really not having a problem.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just more so I'm just my goal is to like I told you, my goal is to get a food truck and do that, and maybe then after that I feel like a restaurant is in the near
In the
future
future.
for me. So but I'm just basically I'm just working on my craft every day. I just make sure that I sit there and try to get as creative as possible. Like I said earlier, like my girlfriend is the brain, so she starts to get creative. So with my menus, like all my menus, the names that we change, like I have a little bit of input, but she executes it. So so that's,
Strong women, huh?
yeah, she's different, like different.
Yeah, it's always good to have a strong woman in your corner, right, Tanisha from last show.
Yeah.
We got Cynthia up here too. Let me so let me introduce her because I know she's been waiting. Cynthia,
Hey,
hey, what's up? What's going on?
what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay. Do I turn this video on?
I
There I
mean
go.
if you want
Hi,
to, what's up,
everyone.
Jers? Look, I'm looking.
Yep.
I said Cynthia, what's up, Jers? What's
I
going
know,
on?
right? How's everyone?
How are
Wow.
you?
Thanks for the
Hello.
Yeah, not tell everybody
information,
exactly
sharing the
what you're
links
doing.
though. Do a little bit of everything. I am a producer, spokesperson, and co-owner for Royal House Enterprise, as well as a co-owner and studio manager. Leads engineering, events, podcasts, and radio, and list goes on. I even get in the booth sometimes still if you need me.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Tell us a little bit about like some of the stuff that you're trying to do or some of the services that you offer as far as your business. Just to give us a little bit of
Okay.
background on you.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, as far as the studio is concerned, it's me and my partner Merc Beats. He's a super producer, and we it's really not just Beat Suite Studios, it's Beat Suite Academy. And a big part of what we do and that we hope to do on a bigger scale is to teach the children. We have a lot of young people coming in here recording songs. And as a creative, coming from a creative background, you want
You're cutting in and out.
them Am I?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
fine. I don't know.
Go
Is it
ahead.
still cutting out?
Nah, you're fine now.
Okay. Oh, but what I was saying is we have a lot of young people that come through our studio. You want the artist to be able to make music that's true to them, you know, but we do still try to encourage them to look into other avenues of hip hop as far as like the history of hip hop, the different types of songs and music, the content, the artists, like learning about the industry behind the scenes, like with the publishing, making sure that, you know, they're linked up with certain entertainment lawyers and just, you know, other artists in the area, and make sure they have some information that a lot of them really don't have, you know, because a lot of the kids that come through, they just know they want to make music. They know I want to rap, you know, I like how this sounds, but then they spend all this money coming in here, but then they have no platform to present their music to, or it just sits there, they listen to it with their homies, you know, they might get a few views online. So we pretty much try to provide some of the tools to help them take their music to another level, maybe refer them to Retune over there at Winston, you know, we've done that as well. And, you know, and also offer incentive programs where, say, for example, we might want them to encourage them to learn about something that has nothing to do with music. Well, finance has nothing to do with everything, but like, say, for example, nutrition, finance, investing, you know, health, you know, diet. And we'll say, hey, take this workshop or take this lesson here, and we'll give you a credit or a discount, or we'll give you some free hours or something, just to try to encourage them to think outside of just music. Because, you know, I come from a music on TV, and then they're it's, you know, smoke and mirrors, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
And then as far as Royal House Enterprises, mainly a family-owned business. We have a few artists on the roster, but right now we're working on a platform which is somewhat of a social media platform specifically for the entertainment industry. And it's going to work like an employment agency, where we link writers and producers, we link DJs, you know, with artists, dancers, you know, could be a stylist, a graphic designer, like anything and everything you could think of in the industry that, you know, or a type of profession that you might need. We're linking them together. So we're hoping to launch that, you know, before the year is out. So stay tuned.
It's funny that we sitting here because I know Tatanisha is so quiet over there today, but you know, all of you all, Stan, Winston, Jers, all of you all are actually in that this field, that field in some way, some form. You know, the South by Southwest, the biggest stages, Tatanisha is over that. The biggest platform, I will say, the biggest platform out is Retune. You know,
what you guys can see my logo up here, our Retune logo that plays right here in my podcast room. So you guys are listening.
It is crazy because Stan has a big following and a big hand in New York hip hop and in the music scene. So it's just great. It's great having you all on here at the same time and being able to talk about this. I know I'm sorry if I'm going back and forth. I know we got people coming back and forth up here. I'm gonna skip around, but we'll all be able to talk in a second.
And Blue, if I could jump in on that point you just making, right?
Yeah.
So one of the like main reasons why I think like doing music business is so important is just because that's where our people are currently at. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is like somewhere everyone's connected to somebody who does music. It's just where we're at, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if we want to get to a lot of other places as far as in business, but to get there, I believe you've got to start doing quality business where we at first. And we're in music. We all do it. So my thing is like, instead of, you know, what can we do in the industry to legitimize what we're doing as far as like each of our business endeavors that allows us to venture off into other business industries down the road? Because there's a lot of stuff happening, and I believe not just our generation, but the next generation going forward. I can't wait to see how they take, if we can do this, what they take the legitimate business we can do in the music industry and pivot and scale in other industries, right? And so that's my if I say like my main goal is like, let's do good business with each other in music because that's where we're at, and then let's run other sectors that's happening because they're really happening here, and we need to be part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely, Winston. I agree with you. And it's not a competition; it's a cooperation. And I heard you say earlier that you're going to Florida, and I'm still trying to make my way out to Charlotte because you really want to be around like-minded people who are not in the secret weird competition with you that you didn't know you were in, and where you can truly support each other and build and work. And like I don't know if it was a clip you were playing earlier, Blue, at the intro, Kevin Hart.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it's okay to have multiple people doing the same thing. Like, if you're confident, you're secure with what you do, you shouldn't feel threatened. If anything, like we refer people to other studios all the time. Like if we can't take a session, I'm like, hey, I know this person over here. I know this person, they might have some availability. I don't feel threatened that we're going to lose a client. I just want to make sure that our clients get taken care of. You know what I mean? So it's just, the more people get in the mindset of working together and see what you can contribute to support one another versus being like, oh, I want to be the first to do this, or I'm not trying to share this because I got my show on this day or whatever the case is. Like, I don't get into all that. Like, whoever I can support, I'm with it as long as you ain't putting no craziness out there.
For sure. Tanisha. Because you've been quiet the whole time. Like you've been real quiet.
I'm not feeling well.
I'm not feeling well.
I know was there anything you want to elaborate on that before I kind of introduce what Kareem was doing? Or
Nah.
Okay. Kareem is actually in the real estate business. And definitely wanted to bring him up to kind of give us an insight on just the real estate game itself. What's going on, Kareem?
How you guys doing? How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. So honestly, I want to kind of keep along with kind of develop some information, but really kind of go along with the theme of the show and kind of leave it to maybe questions the audience has as well as the real estate, because I could go on for hours just talking about certain things, but just kind of getting in and getting out some more common terms, starting with like home styles, whether you're getting into real estate as a first-time home buyer, as maybe you already bought a home, you inherited a home, whatever the case is, you're a seller. They come down to a few different styles of homes. So you got single families, one of the more common, obviously that people will know, condo townhomes, co-ops. You do have multifamilies as well, and then on another side, commercial. That's kind of a different avenue, right? In order to acquire these properties, you're doing this in a couple of different ways. Again, inheritance, we said. You're maybe blessed enough to be able to put down a cash payment and just cash out on properties, and that does happen with investors and people that just have been blessed in life to make it, right? Most common factor you're going to do common way is the mortgage route. So obviously the one thing you got to be really conscious of is before you get into, especially as a buyer, is getting with a loan officer and securing a pre-approval in order to purchase. Something that goes along with the mortgages that some people don't realize is it is comprised of a couple different things. So if you are approved for a mortgage and you're going to be moving forward with the purchase of a home, not only are you going to be paying like a principal payment for a mortgage, but you do have interest on top of that. You're going to have taxes and insurance payments for that as well. And then that's kind of when you're going to begin your shopping process. But you're going to say
now I was going to say the loan process, and it is a proven fact, and it's not that I'm in it, and you all could tell me if you think I'm wrong. Getting approved for a loan is harder to get a loan as a minority than any, not trying to sound biased, but it's harder to get a loan. So is there any bank in particular that you would recommend? Or is there?
Honestly, what I recommend is not necessarily going with banks. You go with private mortgage companies. Myself, I work with a couple of people, that I always recommend to my clients too, because I've seen their processes, how they work, and no, that's not something you're gonna have to worry about. You going through a private mortgage company, what they're pretty much doing is playing that filtering mechanism where they're going to just based off of what you qualify for, they're going to take in loans from different banks or organizations that do pay out these mortgages, and they're going to give you the best option that you have that you qualify for.
We
That's one way I definitely recommend is going to more private mortgage companies, and doing it that way with your applications.
I know Devin just asked what's the ideal credit score for a first time home buyer.
Um, Obviously, the better your credit is always the best, right? Minimum, I really speak to New Jersey because that's where I'm located and I work. Uh, Honestly, companies want to see around like at the honestly 620 to 650, you can pretty much get a mortgage here in Jersey. So that's not a great credit score by any means. Obviously, with that, you're going to have higher interest payments, things like that. Um, but you could qualify. But regardless of the fact, what you're really looking at is you get into a mortgage and people look at that big number. What you really focus on is that monthly payment, making sure that you're able to comfortably take care of that. And you look at it as it is an investment, regardless if you're purchasing something to live in or you're purchasing it for an investment property. It's going to build equity, which is going to be wealth, and it's something that's a tangible asset that you own and you're going to be able to pass down to your family. And again, it can turn into investment, or you make profits on a sale.
It, in this point in time, during the time that we in, would you say it the best time to buy property, or should it be a better time to sell? And if you guys have any questions, please ask.
Honestly, it's a great time to buy if you're a buyer. The mortgage rates are extremely low. You're talking about 3%, 3.5%, which it's been historically low. Honestly, if you go back, I mean, this is well before my time, but having my history and research, mortgages were typically you're talking about before the market crash, 15, 20, in that range percent. Now we've been at 5%, and we think that's almost high. It's not. Now we're down because of everything that's gone with COVID, where you can qualify for 3.5%, which is amazing.
Hmm, okay. Winston, you got anything? Stan?
Nah, man. I think the biggest question I would have is just like from your perspective, have you seen like an uptick in wants for a home like now with the COVID thing, or do you see people um more like pulling back a little bit more, want a little more cash flow, right? So do you see them more interested, like, hey, I think it's important that we get a house, so at least we have an asset in case things get funny, or like, hey, I really need cash right now, I'm gonna hold off on purchasing a home. Kind of what do you see from your perspective?
Honestly, I've seen it's crazy. You see it both ways because to speak to that, everyone's situation is different. With working with investors, I've seen some investors that are looking to sell because they're like, I don't want to hold on to this property, and then vice versa. Well, other people were like, I'm not trying to sell now because maybe I don't sell as high. I'd rather get this rented out and make sure I just have that that good cash flow coming in, to, if not at least just cover my expenses on the property. Still can make some profit, and make that residual income, coming in on a monthly basis without having to do much, the check, on the first.
I know. Jerz just said, how do you go about buying plots and acres of land to build on?
The same way you would go about, purchasing a home. You get with a real estate like myself, within our, our MLS access, where it's our database that we look up properties. You also get the lot listings, the vacant land listings. I do have connections with builders as well. I'm actually working with a custom builder, getting him into a new home. But you get with the builder to kind of get your plans for the home that you would need to take to the township, to get your permits. There's certain things you want to look for, especially with buying vacant land. You want to make sure electricity is going to that home, plumbing, moving plumbing is going to the home. Some of these vacant lots are still on well systems, things like that. So those are things to be definitely aware of when you're just buying land. If you don't have electricity in that zone, you do have to pay for them to come run wiring or to run the plumbing out there. So again, additional costs. These are things you got to be kind of cautious of when doing so.
Okay. There was an article. It mentioned that there was a COVID-free village in Italy, which is selling. They're selling homes for $1 right now. Is there really a benefit in investing into that property when this is all happening? Because I think we all would buy.
You got to realize the people, and I put it this way: the people that make money off of real estate, they buy at times like these for a reason, and I just got to leave it that way. The people, the real investors are buying at times where necessarily there are crises where people are more apt to sell homes for cheaper than they would have because they don't know what's going to happen. There's a lot of this not knowing what's going on in the world, right? So some people don't want to hold on to properties and they want to get out and just kind of cut their losses, possibly not knowing what's going to happen at the end of this and how the market's going to respond. But I don't think it's ever a waste to purchase a property if you do your due diligence and your research in the market of the area. Was the market value in that that area increasing before COVID hit? If that was the case, you're probably getting a good investment because once things clear up, it should continue on that track, right? If it was an area that was already doing bad before it hit, and that's why you're getting that $1 home, what does that really matter, right? So that's necessarily just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's a better investment, right? So there's more things that go into it except what you're actually putting down and just the dollar amount that you're investing into it.
Okay.
Like every sale, there's always a market.
What I think the takeaway from this whole show is honestly just supporting one another. You know what I'm saying? And it's not you want to give that support where you feel like you have to support, but I think it's just, even though the amount of people that was up here now, just from what we spoke about, and again, you too, Karim, if you could put your information there, just being able to network with one another and actually talk about stuff like this. The different businesses, such as we got Stan. If we ever in the city in New York, definitely instead of going to a restaurant, hit them up. Anybody needs a website, especially some super dope websites for the best price. Hit Winston up. If I want to do anything in real estate, I'm definitely hitting you up. You know what I'm saying? And I think if we do it like that and we continue to build with one another, then that's where we're gonna win. Go ahead, Winston. I know you had something to say.
I was gonna say something, man. And I don't know where everyone else thinks about this. I think for so long, the black consumer has not been valued, and what I mean by that is, like everybody else, like me being a black man, I gotta go earn their $1, right? But sometimes, like, we can take the shortcut, being like, "Yo, man, I'm black. I got a business support me, right?" I want to earn that $1. You dig what I'm saying? I want to compete at the highest level. You dig what I'm saying? And earn your business. But when I do earn your business, there's like an unwritten code, like, you know what I mean, that's on another level. But I do want to earn that. You dig what I'm saying? I don't want any handouts, because I feel like any handouts, because let's say the color of my skin, right? It actually hinders me from actually growing into the business entrepreneur I could be down the road. And so I love the community that we are in, but every dollar I want to earn it. And I think everybody up here, like working with Jers, like Jers is the studio she has, it's a quality studio, not just a quality black owned studio, it's a quality studio, period. You dig what I'm saying? So so just the fact that it's black owned is the caveat, it's the extra, but I think everybody in business, man, earn that $1 and value that black dollar like you would any other dollar. Because once you do get that black dollar, it is a lot stickier of a dollar. I will tell you that. I would say 95% of my clientele are black. You know what I mean? Is us. And I would tell you, to get that $1, you know what I mean? It's a process, but once you get it, man, I think my clients are like loyal. Like I got clients that have been clients from when I had a recording studio like 2012 that pivoted to my Connect page, that pivoted to streaming services that also have websites. You know what I mean? Like this is it just pivots. And so that's what I was saying on that, man. It's just like, yo, as a black business owner, man, let's earn the dollar of the folks in our community. Because our community, man, if we do good business in our community, I think more than anything we can do in government and after a politician, man, we can do a lot more, man, just by serving each other properly, doing good business with each other, taking care of one another, and then compound and building from that. So, yeah, I just wanted to, going on that.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man. I think if we definitely take the time to do the research and use the resources, there's so many different resources out there. We just about applying for it and just having the knowledge about it, and doing shows like this is a step forwards. You know, even though today might be a couple people, but next month or months later, it might be more people that wish they joined in, or that can get the information from this show. So yeah, nah, I really appreciate you all for taking the time out your day to do the show. Was there anything else that you all wanted to say before we end it?
Nah.
Or
I mean, just like they said, just like I said, just support black. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm big on. I'm big on that. So like I said earlier, like people that get on my menu or whatever, like I don't give out no handouts. It's only helping hands. That's all I do. Like I'm saying, and all I ask in return is that you pay for it. Like you help somebody else. That's basically what I'm about. So just help. Like I would never, like I said on Instagram, I would never hold back information that can help somebody else grow. Like so it's just I don't see the value in stuff like that. Like you don't get blessings from withholding information that can help somebody else grow. Like and that's just hating, so to say. Like it's just and it's like to help somebody out and you could potentially help them be the best that they can be.
Mhm.
That's a gift in itself.
Yeah,
But a lot of people don't look at things like that. I've done seen people hold back information, and the person that they held it back from still got the information and turned back around and helped that person because it's just they heart was built different. So
yeah,
that's me all the way. Like even I might get mad because somebody might held back some information, but I'm gonna go get it. And if you need my help, I'm not gonna throw it in your face, but I'm gonna help you out, and I'm gonna make sure that you know that I'm helping you out. You know,
nah, that's a fact.
just support.
That's
I support. You know what I'm saying? To support black. That's my motto. Going forward.
yeah,
That we in now, we need it more than ever. So you feel what I'm saying? So, and I love this. I love that a lot of people, it's more entrepreneurs coming out and and growing a business, and leaving their jobs and really, taking their dreams in their own hands and working for themselves. That's the best thing. Like I just told somebody like I'm not gonna work for I refuse to work for anybody for the rest of my life. There's no way in the world I'm gonna do that. Like so for me, so if this is the path that I'm gonna take, so be it. I'm gonna make sure that it works for me. You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Kareem, are you only able to do New Jersey, or can you do different states?
As of right now, I'm only licensed in New Jersey. I do work all over New Jersey. It doesn't matter where I travel, have access to all the necessary information. I am looking to get licensed in a couple other states, just as I'll be there, and I got family in those locations. So, but I can always refer too. So if you're looking for somewhere, I can also look up the best agents in the area, the people that do the most sales in whatever area you're looking into.
Mhm.
to make sure that you're well equipped with who you move forward with. So even if I can't help you through the sale process, I can get you someone that's going to be, definitely qualified and good for you to move forward with.
You could do commercial properties as well.
Yes, so I can do commercial real estate. One thing with commercial real estate as an agent, there does have to be a attorney involved in the process. Only an attorney can write up a real estate or commercial real estate contract. So that's
Okay.
something that you got to be aware of. You got to have an attorney, obviously one that you trust and one that you know very well, that can get a good contract written up for you. So there's a lot of different things with those commercial real estate contracts as well. There's different types of commercial real estate contracts. So it depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay. I actually have a new lawyer, a new law firm.
Okay.
Angela has actually plugged me in with them. I pay like $39 a month with this law firm. She was
Mhm.
telling me about. She's been with, I think, for like 14 years, over
Okay.
15 years, and is if anybody needs that information, see if Angela could put that information in there as well. You could contact her. But it's worked out exceptionally well for her. I know she's worked on a few
Mhm.
big movies, like she's worked on Brotherly Love, and she actually had to use that law firm to, not saying it in a bad way, but she had to actually use a lawyer for a situation with that, and it
Yeah.
worked out great in her favor. So if anybody here that is a business owner that's still on, that maybe have information or questions about a lawyer or ways to go about obtaining a lawyer, definitely reach out to her. She's going to put her information in as well. But again, I'm not going to hold you all up any longer. I definitely email everyone all the links that attended, so that way you'll have the recording. It'll also be on YouTube, and I also email you the grants, the resources to the different grants as well. But if you guys don't have anything else to say, I can't do nothing again. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to attend, and I hope that we could definitely do this again. I think next week's show is we did the relationship show last week.
Yeah,
I don't know
that got
how many people attended the relationship show.
that got a little crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
there.
yeah. So we're gonna do the part
That
two
was a
to
good
that.
one. Okay.
Next week. So everybody been asking about it. I know it's with
What's the
Tatsunisha.
question this week? What's the question this week?
Oh, it's gonna be just a part two to it.
Okay. Okay.
Just the
Think
men
my
men and men and women. So
okay.
but nah, everybody, I'll have that link up by tomorrow. The flyer. But I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and rocking out with me. And again, if y'all don't have anything else to say, do y'all got anything else to say?
Oh, good. Appreciate you for having me.
Nah, yeah.
Nah, man,
I
appreciate
love.
you, Blue, man. Appreciate what you're doing, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Well, shoot, y'all have a great night, man, and I'll send over them links to y'all.
All right, back. Good luck.
All right. All right.
Peace.